opposite from the norm, back with another one. JTL, got my partner HD here. Say what up to the people, man.
What's up, people? What up, people?
All right, man. So go ahead, let them know what's up and do your thing.
All right, so the first topic that I'm gonna speak on tonight is, or excuse me, person is rapper the Baby, not to be confused with Lil Baby and Yeah Baby and all the rest of these babies out there. Popular rapper, um, is all over the internet. The little incident that happened with the two young kids that were trying to sell him some candy. If you haven't seen it, the basis of it is there was some young gentlemen trying to sell the Baby some candy. Um, Basically, they was like, for the whole box is 200. He asked them, how much is each candy individually. They said $2. So he was breaking down like, the total for the box, if each one is only $2, would be like around 60 something dollars. And he was basically like, gave them $2 each instead of buying the whole box. He only gave them $2 each, equaling only $4. And he said he did that just to teach them a lesson. Like, yo, why you trying to scam me? Why you trying to hustle me? Whatever the case may be. He was saying he didn't want to get hustled. And if they had came at him in the correct way, was real with him, he would have gave him like a grand or whatever. And it caused an outrage. People all over the internet going at him, trying to cancel him, calling him all type of names, saying he's a piece of shit, a clown, men and women. It's not just women, because there are a lot of women. I've listened to a couple podcasts where people are calling in uh, single mothers, just going off on this dude, and also men who are fathers who have sons, just going in on him, saying that he's wrong, saying he's a clown, saying he's a piece of shit, saying, "Oh, this nigga spend all his money on strippers. He be blowing money in the strip club. He blow money on expensive clothes, jewelry. You know that little bit of money wouldn't hurt him. Whatever, whatever." And they're saying that he's not a real man for the way that he did those young boys. So I just wanted to get my partner's outlook on the whole situation. Whether he watched the video or not, it's out there. It's not too long of a video. You can watch it in its entirety. I've watched it quite a few times, just so I can get a real feel and a real perspective of what really happened. Around my third or fourth time watching it, I did hear one of the young boys say, and one of the podcasts I listened to this morning also pointed this out, that one of the young boys mentioned to him that, yo, I get donations. And the podcast I listened to thought that that was something big for him to say, meaning that, you know, some people just donate money, to me, whether it's just $2 for the candy, or they may give me, $10, how some people do when they're out selling water or whatever they're selling. Some people will just be like, yo, here's a 20, take that for the candy bar. So he did mention that he takes donations, which the podcast that I listened to mentioned that to say in a way like, you know, it wasn't a straight up scam on the little kid's part. So I wanted to get my homie's perspective on this and then bring two or three little things to the light to ask. So go ahead.
Yeah, I seen the video. I don't think I don't think I don't think he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? When you watch it, and it's like, you know what I'm saying, they tried to hustle the man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, G. Like, so he trying to teach them, like, don't try to be scandalous and block your blessing. You know what I'm saying? And I believe he would have thrown some more money. You know what I'm saying? He just asked what it was for, and then I mean how much, and then they try to say, oh, 200, or I get $400 off this box. And he looking like, you got how many candy bars on there? He like 34. Now how much is that times two? And he laughing like, bro, what you mean you get 400 off? Like, who you trying to hustle? I'm from the streets too, little bro. I get you trying to make your money, but I'm not gonna just give it to you anyways just because of that. That's just like when they was getting on Meat Mill for giving the kids $20. It's like, How many of y'all got $20 to spare like that? Like we got to start thinking about like that too as a community. How many times we gonna expect everybody just because they got money or a celebrity or something is just supposed to spend all their money every time they see somebody? They're just supposed to give all this money, give all this money. It don't matter if he spend his money on chains, hoes, whatever. That's his money. He a grown man. So it tripped me out how people be saying that, but it's like, are you trying to save your own community? Like, come on, man. Like, get the hell out of here. He wasn't wrong for that. They shouldn't have tried to hustle him, and he gave him a real talk. And those men and women that's talking trash, if you ain't out there trying to do nothing for your community, don't say nothing. And most of the time, it's those people who ain't doing nothing that got the nerve to try to say something. Shut the hell up, cause they
Now,
probably ain't doing nothing.
one perspective that I heard earlier that I wanted to throw past you was there was a gentleman called in the show. He said he's a father of two, and he said he was one of the people that didn't just like run down on the baby and call him all type of names and say he's a fraud and he's disrespect to the community and all that. But he did say one thing that maybe he could have did instead of because apparently towards the end of the video he was laughing at the situation and the gentleman was like, instead of laughing at these young men and trying to clown them and putting it on the internet, maybe he could have like whispered in their ear a couple of tips and sick them on some other people like, yo, this is how you do it. I'm gonna hit you up with these lessons, and then I'm gonna take you over here to this mall and see if we can get your paper up, or tell them like, all right, so y'all got this little business right here. I was a little G just like you. Let me give you a few tips on how to double and triple your business, or let me give you a few tips on how to do this next week so you can enterprise. How you feel about that in that way where he could have like instead of just giving them the $2 and going back in his car and laughing about it, he could have gave them some game and helped them out.
Well, I mean, I feel the game was, don't try to hustle nobody. You know what I'm saying? They had to learn that game. You know what I'm saying? Try to be straightforward, try to be honest, try to be stand up. You know what I'm saying? And it'll get you farther. Sometimes you have to fight a little harder, but like Dame Dash say, man, it's better to win the right way. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they take that to heed. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Be upfront about what it is and don't try to hustle nobody. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? When you young like that and your eyes get bigger than what the situation really is, then you might act a little different, especially at that young age. You know what I'm saying? Jits do that. But that's the lesson they're gonna have to learn from it. You can't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Not everybody gonna fall for the okie doke because you're a kid.
Right. Now, what about this? I just got two more to hit you with because these were two that jumped out to me. So, um, there was a situation. Now, I'm gonna just explain the instances and then you can run from there. So, one of the people that I was listening to that I respect a lot was saying like how a lot of these rappers that try to do this, oh, I'm gonna teach these black kids a lesson, or I'm gonna do this to do that. When white kids run up on them, they don't be with the lessons. They just hand them the cash. Like there was an instance. It's not with the baby, but with Lil Uzi Vert, some little white boy was like, "Yo, pay my college tuition," and then he was like, "How much is it?" White boy say like 90 grand or 100 grand, and he was like, "Oh, I got that, no problem." But there was a supposedly another instance where some black kids run up on him, and it's like turning his back, rolling his eyes. And then there was an instance where, the baby was this instance is with the baby where there was some white chick roll up on him in the store. You could watch the video on YouTube, she was trying to sell some hats and shit. He just gave her a grand, you know what I'm saying? So the show that I was listening to was saying like a lot of these black motherfuckers be so hard on the young black kids or whatever, but when it comes to white people, even with autographs, with the black kids, they may be standoffish, but when a white kid roll up on them, oh, let me sign that. I'll gladly sign that. or they'll throw some money at a white kid and won't try to teach them no lesson. So how do you feel about that? Where they be trying to so-called school and be hard on the black kids, but don't do that shit to the cracker jacks.
Um, I think we all know what that's about, and you know what
It's
we
mother kooning.
yeah, you know what we always say, man. Stop the cooning, man. Like it ain't much else we can say on that. People can go back and look at all our videos talking about that shit. You already know ain't much of nothing to say about that.
Yeah, I thought that was a real good thing that was brought up today. That you know it's always because they were speaking on the negative perception that society has on little black boys. When it's
Mm,
a little black boy that's doing something or selling something, it's like, oh shit, what he up to? Oh shit, he's scheming, or oh they up to no good, or oh they out here selling bottles of water. What they gonna use that money for? They ain't using that money for the football team. They ain't using that money to get those shoes. They using that money for something else. That's the
uh-huh.
perception of little black kids in the society. But if it's a little white boy that's coming up to you selling water, oh, look at Timmy. Let me give him $50 for that bottle of water. And that's really fucked up that we do that to young black kids and have that negative perception and follow the perception that these white people done threw, on us in our eyes for years and years and years, all the way back to the fucking 50s and 60s, and we still carry that now. Where we see some black kids selling something, we'll ride right past them. Or if the black kids out there with the car wash for the football team, we don't stop and get them anything. But if it's some cracker jacks that's selling some motherfucking cookies or some shit, we'll stop and get them the money.
Oh, you talking about that Michael Jordan syndrome?
I mean, it's the fucking coons who live in the United States syndrome.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
And I just really thought that was a good point. So a lot of the people were saying, well, what if that was a little white boy that said the same exact thing to the baby? Would he have did the same thing, or if he would have just handed him the money and tried to show out like, yeah, I got it. Here go a grand, here go a grand. Do you think it would have been different if it was a white boy?
Man, probably because you know how it is. Like a lot of cats like him that don't stand for or came up the same way like a Tupac or Nipsey Hussle. I believe so, because they still in that coon mentality. Like when me and you was younger, I know we kind of grew out of it a little quicker than most, but when we was younger, like say like teens, and we be happy about Team USA type shit. Now we like fuck that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the way we grew up, stuff we talked about. I know for us, we wouldn't be on no shit like that. But I can't say that about the baby. You know what I'm saying? No offense. I don't know him, but from the stuff I see, stuff you talk about on music, a lot of young brothers, they have to go through some things to actually make those changes, because we know his way of being is materialistic and thuggish right now. And I can't, I'm sorry, but I say it's a 50-50 chance that he most likely would do that Michael Jordan shit.
Yeah, and I think that's real fucked up. And they were just not to drag it on, but they were also speaking on like, what if that really hurt those young boys' self-esteem, by seeing somebody that they looked up to, a celebrity, and he shot them down like that, how that may make them feel going forward, and the
That they
self-esteem of
tried to
them.
hustle him and it didn't work.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
you
That's
know,
what I'm like. I can't coddle no little boys out there selling damn, especially like for them schools, man. Fuck that shit, cause them schools they be pimping the shit out of our kids, man. They be making all that money for them, and they'll get them a freaking like a little Bluetooth cheap Bluetooth from Walmart or some shit like that. They've been made like $50,000 and give them a punk ass $200 bicycle. So fuck that
right.
school candy and world candy. Fuck them motherfuckers.
Now, this is the one that I was listening to everything else, and in my opinion, I kind of agree with you. Like, I think maybe even more than a 50-50. I think it might be 60-40 or 70-30 had that been a little white boy that he would have just tried to, as they call it, stunt for the gram and
Try
just
to
throw some
flex.
hundreds in the air. Right, right. And that's really sad and that's fucked up. But hey,
Mm.
the way that we think and the way that a Tupac, a Nipsey Hussle would think, that ain't how everybody rolls. We can't think that everybody is going to think like the revolutionary. So if that's what he would have did, then that's par for the course. But the one, and this last one I'm gonna bring up, this is the one that really, all the other ones I was listening to both sides and was kind of agreeing with maybe both ends, but this one where men and black women were saying this, and I was hearing this a lot. I think is very stupid, ignorant, narrow-minded, all that shit. So they were saying that the boys had a right to upcharge him based upon his value. And this one bitch, yeah, I'm calling her a bitch because of
Bitch.
the way she was talking. Once she got on the call, she was talking ignorant, using curse words right off bat, even after the host, Star, told her, yo, watch the cursing, watch your mouth. She's still on there with the yiggity yak, so I'm gonna call her a bitch. She says, yeah, if somebody's selling the car to person A, and the cars is $5,000. Yeah, but if Bill Gates come around, yeah, I'm gonna change that price from 1,500 up to 10,000 because of his bank account. So it's like basically if you have an item for sale and you selling it to somebody who makes 100 grand a year, it's gonna be one price. But then if you see come across, let's say like a baseball player, not a star, but just a baseball player whose net worth may be 10 million. You're gonna raise the price to triple that just because this person has a little bit more money in his bank account. I think that's fucking ignorant and stupid. And so many people were calling in and agreeing with that. Even people who like business people, businessmen who have good jobs and who make good money were calling in and saying, "Yeah, that's the way of the world. That's capitalism and all that old funny talking bullshit." How do you feel about that? About upping the price on somebody just because they're more successful and have more money?
Hey, like Cardi says, if it's up, then it's up. If it's up, then
Oh wow.
listen. Um, that's not capitalism. That's dirty hustling. You know what I'm saying?
That exactly. That's being greedy.
If you see somebody just because they got some money, you think smarter, like, hey, maybe if I do a good job, there'll be a continuous customer. That's how
There you go.
true business people think. So when somebody says that, that means they broke morally. You know what I'm saying? They bankrupt. And for those people that's, oh yeah, I do that. Them be the same people that's always complaining that they have to pay so much money for rent, lights, water, grocery, whatever. Them the same people with them broke mentalities that's always crying and complaining about shit instead of trying to do something about it. So they want to take that out on somebody else. That's why they saying some ignorant, stupid shit like that. It's not because it makes sense. It's because you're a broke motherfucker. Like only broke people do stuff like that. People
And
who
even and
doing
they keep
stuff
hearing
don't think
that
like that.
phrase, "Oh, they got it." Why are you watching that person's pockets
Pocket watching.
anyway? Like, yeah, if somebody worth $10 million, yeah, I'm gonna raise the price because they got it. What gives you the right to do that to somebody just because they are successful? Just because they made it somewhere further than this next person did, that you're gonna up the price on them, and you're gonna up the price to something that it ain't even worth. Because the bitch said a car that's cost 1,500, she gonna raise the price up to 5,000 to 6,000. That car ain't even worth that. So you, just as my partner just said, if a smart person, she mentioned Bill Gates with whole dumbass, you think that somebody that's as rich and successful as a Bill Gates would look at you and say, "Oh yeah, I'll pay $10,000 for a car that's worth 1,500." They gonna look at you like you stupid. They gonna laugh and they gonna walk away, and you just missed out on making a little bit of change for being greedy
Mm.
and all that shit about, oh, they got it. Would you want somebody to do that to you? And then they'll say, "Oh yeah, if I had $10 million, I just break them off with some change." But you know what's gonna happen if you do that? Every fucking time you come across somebody, you're gonna be expected to do that. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what's gonna happen? Your ass gonna fucking go broke. You got $10 million, and every time somebody come across you with a scheme, you gonna say, "Oh, I got it. I'ma spend it." And you gonna see that bank account keep going down, down, down,
But
down,
we all
down. And
know they
then
don't
what?
do stuff like that, G. We all know that they not going like respect the hustle. Cause I know people like that. They'll try to get you, but then when it comes to them, they petty. They I ain't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? So we
They
already
want to
know
pay
they
the
not gonna
bottom
get it
dollar,
like
or they
that.
looking for the
Exactly.
hookup.
Exactly.
Why?
Always.
Because somebody that's successful. Why they can't get a hookup? Just because they successful? Because they worked hard? That's the one
Mm.
thing that I didn't like when they was talking about the baby. They can say all that other stuff, but when they say, "Oh, he got it," just like you said at the beginning, and I'm gonna close on this. That man is his money. He can do what the fuck with his money he want to. If he want to spend $10,000 on a stripper, that's his motherfucking money. So just because he got it, that don't mean shit. Now I may not fully agree with the whole thing, because in my opinion, I feel like, if it was me, not saying that I would have just been like, all right, I'm gonna just give you 200 for it. I would have gave him more than $2. That's the only way that I disagree. I wouldn't have just gave him $2. Maybe
No,
I
they
would
would have
have been
got
like,
$2 for me. That's all they would have got
I
too.
would have been like, all right, little homies, yo, this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you some money, but what I want you to do is use this extra money to go get some more of this product and go flip it. I would have probably gave them like $100 each. I'd have been like, put 50 in your pocket, the other 50, use this. Or I would have took them like, yo, I'm gonna take this other 50. We gonna go buy some more. I'm gonna take you to a mall, and you gonna do shit the right way. That's the only difference I would have did. But do I think what he did was totally wrong? No, I don't.
All right. So
All
let's
right.
go to the next one.
Well, this next one, I mean, this is something that we done spoke on a million bazillion times, and I was just really glad that somebody came out, someone that's more famous, that has more followed, views, whatever, came out. But the gentleman you see, Yellow Beezy, he was going back and forth with some people online, and basically the gist of it is that these people were saying like, "Yo, you ain't got no felonies, you ain't hard, you ain't tough, you ain't no gangster, you ain't got no felonies," and he basically was like, "What? Yeah, you ain't never been to jail." And it's like, yo, the niggas that's been to jail is just some dumb motherfuckers because they got caught. Just because a person doesn't have a felony or never did no prison time, that means they ain't hard. And then, he dropped the line about, so it's motherfucking white people who in jail for computer scamming. They got felonies, they doing prison time. Does that mean they hard? Does that mean they gangster? Does that mean they'll shoot up a fucking building? No. And all these motherfuckers who be online, men and women, and you and I both have come across people personally who have said this stupid, dumbass shit, that think just because you went to prison, that means you tough. No, that means you a dumbass who was doing some dumbass shit and got caught. And just because you got a felony, that does not mean that you, quote unquote, rougher or tougher than somebody who doesn't got a felony. I'm gonna let you run off with it, and then I'm gonna jump back in.
Yeah, we always had this conversation for the longest, man. People, that's where we've been brainwashed to think that's a good thing to get caught. Your thing is you supposed to evade the law. You're not supposed to, walk into the jail and here I go. I'm about to get my stripes on the streets for real. I never heard of a person trying to get caught except for a movie. So for the people that say that, that's where they get tricked at. You know what I'm saying? They trying to wear going to prison as a badge of honor when it's really showing that you got caught. You slipped up
Exactly.
and you fucking got caught. So for anybody to think that, they stupid because that's not the spot. You don't want to go to jail having somebody looking in your asshole. You don't want to you don't want to go to
Whoa.
jail and have somebody telling you when you can shower, when you can use the restroom,
When
when
you
you can
can
eat,
eat,
when you
you
can work,
can't get no
when you
pussy.
can
That's
go
the
and
number one
play
thing. I'm
basketball.
sorry. All these motherfucking hard ass niggas. What is these motherfuckers don't like women? Because it ain't from what I know in the all men's prison, it ain't no women in there unless you count the motherfuckers who got on a wig as a woman. So how the fuck is you some player, but you want to be talking about doing prison time? Ain't no women up in there to be a player, homie, unless you switching over to the other team. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you want to do,
Shit, me if
but
there ain't nothing wrong with that.
I just don't want no people jumping on us from the LGBT and all that.
Look,
That's
the
what I said.
LMNP community gonna have to deal with what they got to deal with. If you have to go to prison to become gay, there is something wrong with it. If you gay on the
I'm just
streets, is
saying.
one thing, but if you go to jail and have to turn because you didn't caught all these years and you got to go sit down, no, it is something wrong with that. You had no choice because you're horny, and now you well pause, but now you in there, now you got to mess with dudes that no or women, whatever side. So it is something wrong with that, and there's something wrong with that mentality that we think it's cool to be a gangster and tell everybody. It's not that. It's word of mouth and people know not to say so much. They will say, if anything, that's a man of respect. You know what I'm saying? That's what they used to do. They not finna. Yeah, I'm a gangster. I'm a gangster. Put me on the camera. Turn the live on. What? That's why you see dudes getting killed on live now because they want to be on the camera all the time. So I mean, come on, man. That's just nonsense, man. Jumbotron nonsense, man.
And you got these people that feel like women. We're gonna speak on the women for a minute that feel like if somebody ain't never been to jail and never been to prison, then they're not hard. And I don't even understand why that is something that would be in your itinerary to look for, especially someone because if you're a woman, you should just want a man that has wisdom and also a protector. But if he is in prison, how the fuck is he gonna protect you? How he gonna protect you and the family if he behind bars? He can't protect you and the kids from behind bars. All he can do is talk. And then if you talking about what makes somebody tough, once again, how tough is it to defend your family if you behind bars? That makes zero sense to me, and it's so fucking backwards. And these women think that just because somebody got a felony, yo, that dude could have got a felony, like you said, from computer scamming, but he's sitting there telling you, "Yeah, I beat up 6 niggas, I shot at the cops," and you sitting there believing that shit when this motherfucker went to jail for some shit he did online, and you falling for this persona, and it's like, why are you falling for a persona that's gonna get you where? It's getting you where? Is it getting more money in your bank account? Is it educating your kids? No, it's not. All it is some words and some myths that once again have been passed down to us that if somebody went to prison, that means they hard and you gotta be scared of them and you gotta fear them when they walk around. To me, I don't. First and foremost, you shouldn't fear no other man. But secondly, just because someone been to prison, that means that I'm supposed to fear him more than this dude that hasn't. The dude that's never been to prison could have killed 6 motherfuckers and just never got caught. Yet you gonna look at him like he a mark because he never been to jail. When in all actuality, he's smart. Not saying that killing people is smart, but the motherfucker ain't never been to prison. He's out here in the free world walking around. Yeah, you gonna run up on him and try him, and you gonna be the next man that's on his body count. So how you feel about these women that's out here targeting men who got a prison record or who so called got felonies? So that means that they're gonna be hard and a protector.
Yeah, that's what we talk about all the time, man. It's just stupidity because I seen it for years growing up. What shit mess with the street dudes who ain't moving correctly, and they go through one or two things. Either, and I'm talking about the extreme further than cheating. They go through either the guy going to prison, them having to worry about collect calls, sending commissary shit like that, letters, or sadly the dude getting killed. I've seen that plenty of times growing up. So I mean, a lot of these females that chase that, they don't realize how real it gets until they go through it. And I mean, from what everybody knows, a regular dude that got options might cheat on you. Why would you want to get with a dude that's gonna cheat on you and go to jail or get killed? How does that make sense? Where he just gonna leave you out here? Period. That makes no sense. So we got a lot of women that think, uh, that's what masculinity is. You know what I'm saying? That's how far removed we become from making sense of as a community. You know what I'm saying? So instead of them being on some, I want a dude that's gonna be stable and loyal and real and respectful, carry himself with dignity. They don't want that. They want the thug dude because it look cool, but it's like, man, listen, ain't nothing cool about being about that life, man. It's some hardships that come along with it. We all know. So I think it's just immaturity, man. It's just females being immature and just flat out stupid, point blank.
Yeah, I just really thought it was real refreshing that it was a younger brother that was saying that and bringing that to the light. And then on the flip side, I thought that it was sad that so many people were fighting him on that. You know, trying to fight him, saying that you ain't as hard as you say because you ain't never been to prison. And it's like, once again, if you got a young brother that's out here, whether I'm not gonna say I'm a big fan of his music because I'm not, but if somebody is saying something or rapping about something, let them walk that walk. For you to question if they've done this or that because they've never been to prison or don't have a felony, it's like, well, what have you done? All these people that are making these remarks to him, it's like, what have you done that makes you so hard? And why is it a fucking hard contest anyway? Why are we, in our 20s and 30s and some motherfuckers sadly in their 40s out here trying to make it a tough contest? I'm tougher than you or I'm harder than you. Why are we out here doing that? If you see
Mm.
a problem with what this young man is saying, why don't you holler at him on that level and be like, yo, man, maybe you need to move different or maybe you need to talk different. Instead, it's motherfuckers out there trying to see who's harder, trying to stick their chest out. Yeah, I got 6 felonies. I'm way more harder than you. Why is that a competition and why is that even something to brag about? That just goes into our way of thinking as black males. Why is that something that one wants to brag about, that you got 2 felonies and this guy has none? That makes you better than him? That makes you more of a man than him? That you got 2 felonies and he got none? Or does that make you less smarter than him because you got 2 felonies and he got none? We need to really stop and think about that as black men, especially if you're on that other side of 30. I can I know my partner may have a problem with me saying this, but in some ways I can kind of understand somebody in their early 20s making those kind of stupid comments because they may not know any better. They may not have been through anything. They may not even have had an OG to talk to them and tell them the right way. But once you 30, 35, 40, 45 still talking that way, something's wrong. You're not a man, you're just a male. And it's real sad that you can be that old. And some of these people are fathers, 35, 40 years old with children, with young boys, as a matter of fact, talking that way, trying to talk and be on the internet saying, yo, I got 2 felonies, I'm a thug, I'm hard. And you got the little babies looking up to you and they're gonna think the same way. And they
Baby,
may
cause
not
I'm a thug all day,
and they
every day.
and the young kids may not come out as lucky as you because we got young kids, 18, 19, 20, 21, getting shot, killed, dead. Why? Because they looking up to somebody who they OG or who they father or who they uncle talking this stupid shit about they got felonies, so they trying to walk in the same light as him, and they end up getting killed. And this old motherfucker is the one that taught them that way. So I just think we need to. I don't know when and where it's gonna be that switch and change, but it really needs to be a change, especially for the motherfuckers that are on the other side of 30, to stop talking and thinking that way and start thinking the opposite. That having a felony, having all these felonies does not make you hard, it makes you fucked up. And we need to teach our young kids to try to not have any felonies. Try to make that the new hard, to have no felonies. That's what I want to say on that. And I just wanna, like I said, I ain't no big ass fan of his music, but I really wanted to commend that young man Yellow Beezy for saying that and trying to spit a small bit of knowledge to these dumb motherfuckers out there.
That's on me, baby. That's on me, baby. Yeah, for real though, man. Shout out to the young brothers. Regardless of what everybody else say, what they old hating ass is mad because a bitch ain't gave them $1 or they ain't nobody recognizing they gangster. Pretty much just a couple of haters, man. So shout out to them young brothers. You know, hopefully, they keep growing, keep learning, keep doing better, man, because it ain't too many OGs left. You know what I'm saying? The baby, I think he like 30 maybe or something like that around that age. And Yellow Beezy, he about 25 or something like that. So, they still young brothers. They making their way, and people can say what they want, but you gotta realize, man, like you ain't in a position, and you not gonna know what it is to deal with somebody always having comments on you like that every day you wake up, something
Right,
hitting your phone. So we don't
right,
realize what they go through on a day-to-day basis. We hear different stuff from about a lot of different celebrities on the outside looking in, but personal life, you got to understand what they're going through. Somebody trying to holler at them for money all the time. You got to think you got family members that want you to take care of it. You got friends, your neighborhood, everywhere you go, or somebody want to test your gangster. So people can say what they want, man, but these brothers are on public display. They can't be just giving money to everybody. They can't just be trying to fight and shoot it out with everybody. You know what I'm saying? They are celebrities, they artists and entertainers. Let them people be enjoyment in that. If you have anything to say, my thing is just like with Sha'Carri Richardson. My only issue I have with her is I just pray God bless her to be careful about being too ghetto and being too much into this fuck my haters type shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that shit. Just keep doing you, but don't let your blessings pass you by. Don't mess up your blessing that God gave you that you was able to work hard for and get. These people doing some stuff that a lot of people would never do in their lifetime, no matter how hard they try. I'm sorry to say. It's just reality. Feel me?
right.
So hopefully y'all enjoyed the show, man. Like always, Mondays and Thursdays, God willing, it's gonna be 10 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays, we going live. You know what I'm saying? We always gonna do our best to keep bringing y'all some content, whether we, you know what I'm saying, it's just here and there. But Mondays and Thursdays is the live. So at 10
Yes,
p.m. Eastern time. So make sure y'all check us out. You know what I'm saying? So we about to get up out of here. I gotta go to Walmart real quick before these motherfuckers close.
oh
So
shit.
much love and respect to everybody. Fuck with us.